Okay, so what is debugging and how it works is what we'll understand. Debugging is a process to analyze any issues in a particular program. Analyze issues in a program. This is what we do in the debugging concept. So now, if at all, if there is a program which is done by someone else and it's not working properly, so how do you actually know what exactly is the issue? If you're not getting any error message or something like that, then you start debugging a program and you analyze what exactly is happening in the backend, and then accordingly you'll fix the issues. So this is what we do in the debugging concept. Okay, so for debugging concept, what we'll do right now is we'll go ahead with a simple program. Let's take a program which we have just now discussed and we'll set breakpoints and see that. See, we have full debugging. This full complete, or you can also call it as complete debugging. So complete debugging. This complete debugging we can do it in the by using /h in the program. So when you just type /h, everything gets debugged. Okay, full or complete debugging we'll do it later. Now we'll first understand about setting breakpoint. Setting breakpoint is one way of going ahead with the debugging, where you set a breakpoint and then you execute the program, and wherever the breakpoint is being set, you can stop there and see what's happening in the backend. Let's see that now. So we'll go to the program which we have just now done, and in this program I'll just like to keep a breakpoint here at the 15th row. So it needs to be, the program needs to be active, only then we can set a breakpoint. I'm setting a breakpoint at the line 15. Done. Execute. Now when you execute, it will not show you the direct output. Wherever you have set the breakpoint, there it will come and stop. And here, if you see, if you double click all the field names here, you can see this. What I'll do is, like right now I'll go for variables, right? Desktop 3. So when I go for the desktop 3, I can see the variables clearly. Previously this was in the standard. In the standard we are having the events here on the top and variables are at the top. So I'm going to desktop 3 where I can see the variables very clearly. And I'll also go for internal team. Now after getting into the debugging concept, you can use this F5 functionality, step-by-step execution. So when you type F5, only one line will be executed in the program. Only one line will be executed in the program. F6, when you click F6, it will be coming, if let's say we have if and if. Okay, you are at the beginning of the if. If you are at the beginning of the if, not yet entered into the if, and you just want to skip this and if entire process, you can just type F6, you'll skip that. Whether it might be loop and loop, or if and if, or do and do, whatever it might be. Okay, this is for F6. Now F7, why we use it is like if we are already inside a loop. Okay, you are already inside loop. Now you want to come out of the loop. Then you will go for F7. If you are already inside the loop. Now F8 is for direct processing, execution. Okay, for execution we'll use F8. Direct, you will get the output, final output. Okay, so if you, okay, in this F8 again we have a lot of variations. We'll see that. Now that we have come here, now I'll click F5, or I can click this button also here on the top. Now what will happen if I click on this button is only one line will be executed at any given point of time. So we'll just click that. You'll get into the second line. Click again. Third. Click again. Okay, so if you see on the right side, all the values are getting updated. Now country is not updated. So when you click on this one, country also will be updated. When you click again on this, salary will be updated. So when you go for append, after append, the values will be updated to internal table. Then we have this again F5. So you'll get all the values. Then we'll go ahead with the append, and then we have. So in this way, we for every record it getting updated. And if you see the internal table has got 3 records. If you double click on this, it will take you to the tables tab. If I double click on internal table, it will take me to the tables tab. Automatically it will take to the tables tab. Now if you see here, you can see the records in the internal table. You can go back to desktop 3 and you can again execute the program. And now that if you are already done with it, I'm executing all this. Now we are inside the loop now. Actually, I thought of showing you the F6 functionality, but if you are inside the loop, then you have to click F7. See, if you see the arrow mark also, you can understand. Now, what does this arrow mark indicate? It indicates that it is at the beginning of the loop, and if you want to just skip the entire loop and come out, you have to use F6. This is what it indicates. And now this indicates you are already inside the loop and you want to come out of it, you use F7. Okay, the arrow mark represents that. What I am telling and what is shown in the arrow mark and the icon, you just relate both. Okay, so we'll come out of the loop. For coming out of the loop, we'll go for F7. Now I'll type F7. The moment I type F7, it comes out of the loop, and now it goes into some standard code. Here also I'll skip this try and try. So you get the output. The try and try is actually standard program. Standard program is getting executed. Okay, this is what we have. Now, in this debugging concept, we have gone with the one breakpoint. But what if you want to check the code at two points? This is at the something like this is at the 15th line. Now you want to check it at the 15th. Now you want to check it at the 92nd line or 86th line. So if you want to check it at the 86th line, you can go ahead and do that. Okay, so what you can do is, instead of coming again step by step from there, you can set another breakpoint here. Okay, so now you have two breakpoints once you execute it, because you have a doubt that there might be two places where there might be an issue in a program. You want to check both the steps. Then you can do this. You can set the breakpoint to two levels. Now one is here. So you can see this, and I can go a single step. You have seen this, and you finalize that there is no issue here, and you want to skip to the next place where you have an issue. Then you can simply click on F8, and the F8 will take you to the next breakpoint in the program. Okay, so the another functionality of F8 is that it will take you from the uh, first breakpoint to the second breakpoint. Okay, and you can check these values, or all the values you can check, and then you get this output. Okay, so now now that you are in the program and you have a lot of breakpoints, and how do you actually delete the breakpoints? Is you go to utilities, breakpoints, display, and you will see this breakpoints. Select these breakpoints and delete. Utilities, breakpoints, set or delete breakpoints. Okay, you can just click on this delete row. So once the rows are deleted and say okay, all the breakpoints will be deleted here. Okay, so all the breakpoints can be deleted from one place in the utilities breakpoints. Utilities breakpoints and display, and whatever breakpoints will be displayed, that breakpoints will be deleted. So this is already at the breakpoint. You can just double click on this also, it will go. The breakpoint will be deleted. But the problem here is if you have 10-15 breakpoints and you have to keep on just searching for 10,000 lines, that is not possible. So you can simply go to the 10,000 lines program and go to the breakpoints, and here you can say display breakpoints, and whatever you want to delete, you can delete them simply. Easy. Then there is something called watch point. Now watch point actually gives you an indication of a particular field. Let's say in the program, let me again set the breakpoint here, and inside the program there is a field called wa_emp-city. Now that we are able to see it here, it's okay. But what if you are not able to see the field name and you don't know where it is, and you are searching step by step, and you just want the system to give you a alert that the whatever field you are searching for is here. Okay, if you want to just get the alert, you click on watch point, and in the watch point you just type the variable name here for which you are searching for in the program. Just say okay. Now the watch point is created. Now if I go for step by step execution, now in the next line, that is 17th line, that field or variable which you are searching for is coming. Let's see. Now the moment it comes and passes on, the watch point reached message will come here. The watch point reached message will come here. You can get this. Okay. So watch point is basically for finding out a particular variable. If you are not very sure which variable and where that variable actually exists in the program. Now in the desktop one, if you see, you can get this. This is an old way of look and feel. So this is how we used to have the debugging screen in the past. Then they have upgraded all these tabs. We didn't had all these tabs at the time. We just had this desktop one, that's it. So it used to directly go into this, that's it. But here if you see here the latest one, we have desktop 2 where you can see the code here and only the events. Desktop 3 only the variables. Standard, you can see the events which it triggers in the top and variables which come across down here. Structures, it can show you only the structures. What is the structure that we have created here? That structure we can see, and we can see the components and the values of it. st_emp. We can just see this. Now tables, we have it_emp. So you have, as of now it is empty. Objects, if at all if you have any objects or views, we can use this. We can see this here. Okay, if at all if you have a classes and all, detailed display here, field names. Okay, if there's a field w_emp-emp and home, so you can see this and you can see the value of it. This is for individual objects. Then we have individual, then we have the breakpoint and watch point. Differences, script, these are all the things that we have. Okay, this is a script. So you can have all these options. These are the various options that we have. And one more thing is, you can also set a breakpoint dynamically from here as well. You want to set one more breakpoint here, you can select that, and click on this stop, and it will automatically fetch the breakpoint here. It will keep the breakpoint here, or you can also click here. If you click like this here, automatically it will set a breakpoint dynamically within the program. So in this way, we can actually analyze a program step by step and see if the values are getting properly updated or not. For example, in our case, if you think that the data is not getting updated into the internal table, then you can go ahead and go for this internal table, select that internal table, set a breakpoint here, and then we can just execute F8, and after that you can directly go to the next loop, execute again. So here we have the loop. It should come here and stop actually. So when we have this, you can see that whether the data is coming in the internal table or not. If the data is coming into the table, is the data coming into the work area from the internal table or not? So these are all things we can check. Now I'll check that there are already values. These are all the values from the first row. Then I will execute it. Second time it will come. Second row data will come. First time Monisha's records. Now Teja. Next Tejaswini. Divyasri. So each time a new record is coming here. If you see on the right side.
Breakpoints we can.
So debugging is basically used to analyze the issues in a program if there are any, and also to understand the flow of the program. Flow of the program also we can understand in the debugging concept. And after that we have full debugging. Full debugging we have to start with /h here. So let us go ahead with the program, execute, and type /h here. Breakpoint here. I'll just delete the breakpoint. I'll just delete the breakpoint. Okay. And here in the program, I'll type /h. Then the program completely from here, everything will be debugged. So the problem here is that if you go for complete debug, there'll be a lot of standard code at the beginning of the program which gets executed for every program. So you need to pass through all these things, which are actually not required for you to go through. This is an SAP standard program. For every program, these lines of code will get executed. So I'm clicking F5 here. So after a couple of thousands of lines, hundreds of lines of codes, and sometimes thousands of lines of code, our actual program comes in. I think all the standard code will also get executed at the beginning of the program. So after hundreds and thousands of lines of standard code, then we'll actually come into our program. Now we have another choice of setting the complete debugging from the selection screen. So now the program for which I have executed does not have a selection screen, so we are doing it. But if you go with the what you call selection screen, I'll go for the program in which we have a selection screen. So we'll have this top of page of basic events, execute, and now here you can set the breakpoint. Here you can set the complete debugging. So if you have even a SAP standard transaction also, you can set a breakpoint simply by typing /h in the transaction input. So we just say enter here, and now the debugging is switched on. If you can see here that the debugging is switched on, and when you execute it, everything goes into the debugging now from the selection screen point. So you get all these values here. So you get this all the data here, information, so you can see everything which is happening in the backend. Now the last way of debugging is something which is which you want to hard code. Let's say you don't want anyone else to execute your program. You can simply write like this breakpoint. Here you can just simply write breakpoint. The moment you write breakpoint in your program, it goes there and stops. So execute it. So you can it directly comes here and stops at the breakpoint. But this is something which you can do it in your own program, but you cannot do like this in the standard programs, right? So in the standard programs you can either set a breakpoint, or you can also go for /h and just simply debug it. /h is the safest one, because no one will be harmed with that. In this kind of scenario, we have to again go back to the program and comment it. That's it. Now activate it and execute. That's it. So this is how we are setting a breakpoint here. Okay. So either we can set a breakpoint, we can do it with the breakpoint option here. We can write the breakpoint logic here, or we can go for /h. In this way, we can go to the backend and see what's happening in the and see and analyze what's happening in the backend. This is all about the debugging concept.